Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to my Wired for Wealth workshop. Now, I'm really excited and passionate about sharing this information with you because this is something that I have been looking for so long. I cannot tell you how long, right? So, I would imagine many of you that are watching this video today have spent a lot of my life feeling a bit trapped financially, right? So personally, I gave up my full-time job when I had two young children. Never regret that for a moment, but obviously that comes with financial sacrifice, right? So it was a challenge. And what I found personally was that we got into debt and then we paid it off, and then we got back into debt and paid it off, got back into debt, paid it off. And I could never work out why I was stuck in this cycle, right? Stuck in this loop. And I've always felt like I've been really good at creating income. That's not been a problem, but it's been holding on to it. That's the one thing I felt really stuck around. So I have worked for years on my money mindset. I've busted through loads of money beliefs, loads of old negative stories that I've told myself. I've rewritten my new powerful, empowering financial story. But I just wanted to find that missing piece, to find out what was keeping me stuck in that loop. And when I found that, I just knew I had to share it, which is what I'm doing with you guys. So I'm really excited to share it in this workshop. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. I've created a gorgeous workbook for you as well, which will come as part of this package, which will help you just delve a little bit deeper into the content that we go through today. But what I learned was that we have to look at this as a whole, right? So we need to look at our money mindset, which is obviously so important when it comes to finances. But it goes much deeper than that because we have to actually look at our nervous system as well and how our body physically holds money, because we want to be able to expand so that we have the capacity for wealth, and that when that money comes in, it doesn't just go out again, which is what happened for me for so long. And I know it's the same for so many people. So I'm going to share lots of juicy content with you in the next. I'm going to try and keep it to about 30 minutes. I've got loads of stuff to share. So if you see me looking, I have got my notes, keeping it real. I just want to keep on track and make sure I'm sharing everything with you, because this really is gold dust. This was just so many light bulb moments for me when I studied this and worked it out. And I could just apply it to so much of my life. So I really am excited. And I know that it's going to impact you guys too. So let's delve in. Now, one of the reasons we keep ourselves stuck financially, right, is that our mind is wired for survival. So if you think back to those primal times when we were being chased by lions and tigers, and bears, oh my, right? So our mind was constantly on high alert. Our mind was keeping us safe at all times. And guess what? Even though we have evolved, our minds have still kept that primal part of it, right? So our mind has always tried to keep us safe, and that's what it wants to do. So it wants to keep us in our comfort zone. It wants to keep us safe. It wants to keep us small because that's what it knows. And you may find, some of you watching this, that if you've had periods, or if you're in my academy at the moment, or if you're working on your personal development, you're growing, you may find that this is quite challenging at times, right? And you might hit a bump in the road. You might start getting a bit wobbly and all these emotions are coming up. That is simply your mind going, come back to me, come back to me. I can see what you're doing. You're stretching, you're growing. I like it where you're safe. I like it where you're small. I like it where I know what you're doing. So just remember that, right? Your subconscious mind is there to keep you safe. Fear that is on the back of your shoulder is trying to keep you safe. And we just need to quieten it down, right? And say, thank you. I know you're there. I know you're looking after me, but I'm in control of this. And this is what so much of this is about, right? It's having control over how you feel and how you handle money. Okay. So the first thing to think is that none of this is your fault, right? So if you think back to childhood, this is an exercise you can do within your workbook, or just do some journaling around this. It's really important and things will continue to come up. Start thinking about, what did I hear around money as a child? So did I hear things like money doesn't grow on trees, I want doesn't get, you have to work really hard to earn a good living, all of those things, how the other half live, that we just took on board as truth, right? So us as small humans, little children, we believed these things, we took them on, we heard them, we accepted that that is the truth. And guess what? We created our beliefs, and then we created our whole life and our financial pattern based on all of these old beliefs, right? It's crazy when you start thinking about it. So start getting really clear about beliefs. What were you told as a child growing up? What did you hear? Because when you start unpacking that and you hear things like, I want doesn't get, what's that saying to you? That's saying to you, don't be greedy. Wanting more is greedy. I'm here to tell you that's shit, right? That's absolute bullshit. Wanting more is not greedy because money is an amplifier, right? You can do really good things with money, right? So money just amplifies who you are. And I know a lot of people have got this feeling of like, they don't want to appear too greedy for wanting more. And a lot of it comes back to that from that childhood hearing, you mustn't ask for more, that I want doesn't get. So we feel like we're being inherently greedy, right? But you can do incredible things with money. What could you do if you had so much money that you could make an impact in the world, right? You could give back, you could volunteer, you could start a charity, like all of those things that you could do. Money is an amplifier of who you are. So if you are a good person, which I know you are because you're watching this, you can do incredible things with money, right? So this is all about digging a bit deeper. It's about busting through those beliefs. It's about listening to yourself, getting downloads of the things that you used to be told when you were little, journaling, writing it down, and asking yourself, is this true? What evidence is there to support this? Okay. So if we take another example, I have to work really hard to earn money is something that we all grew up thinking, right? As sort of 80s kids. Now, here's the thing to do if that is still your belief. Go on YouTube and have a look at all the influencers and all the influencers, all the YouTubers that are making a fortune, right? They're making an absolute fortune. They aren't working hard, they're having fun. And that's the important thing, right? They're in alignment, they're having fun, they're doing what they love, they're getting excited, and they're earning really good money. The world has changed, right? So it's another myth to be bust. We don't have to work really hard to earn good money. We just need to be in alignment. We need to find something that lights us up, right? Something that makes us so happy that we bounce out of bed in the morning, that we want to do it. And there is something there for all of us, right? So this is about busting through those myths, right? It's about getting really clear on what they are, recognizing that that's been holding you back, that you've been thinking that, having that like aha light bulb moment and going, oh, of course, and recognizing that, and then asking yourself, is this true? No, it's not. Okay, so I know that's not true. So what can I do instead? I can choose to believe something else. I choose to believe that I can find my joy, I can get into an alignment, and money will flow in ease. I choose to believe that wealth amplifies who I am, and that by being incredibly wealthy, I can make a massive impact in this world. So choose your negative beliefs. So make sure you've got them written down, journal what they are, and then just start thinking about, what do you choose to believe instead? Because we want to be able to rewire our subconscious mind and tell our subconscious mind we are done with those old 80s beliefs, right? It is 2025. We are here to break through. And I'm super passionate about that, right? Because those of us that have got kids, we are the chain breakers, right? Our generation, I truly believe, are a generation of chain breakers, because we want to change things for our children, right? And we have the power to do that. So if you had a poor money mindset growing up, this is your opportunity. Just the start of watching this video, that is incredible, right? You've taken that next step to go, I want to change. I want to be different. I want my world to be full of abundance. And I want my children and my grandchildren and their children and their children to have a really good mindset around money. That's what excites me. That's what inspires me. That's what drives me every day, is to create that ripple effect through generations. This is really powerful stuff, but it does mean you have to dig a little bit deeper, right? It does mean you have to do some work, some unraveling, have some uncomfortable moments, even a few tears, like let it flow, just spend some time quietly thinking about those old beliefs, telling yourself it's not true. Ask yourself, what evidence have I got to support that this is true? I bet you won't be able to find something, because most of it is just what we've been told, right? So it's super important to start working through those old beliefs and just start rewriting them, choosing what you want to believe, okay? Now, one thing that you can do when you feel a little bit triggered, right? So say, for example, you're having a bit of a wobble one day, you maybe got a big bill, your car needs an MOT, and you're feeling a bit wobbly, right, financially. Rather than allowing those feelings to stick with you, I want you to just shake it off, right? Just do a bit of Taylor Swift, shake it off, move. And emotion is energy in motion, right? So we have to move when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling worried, when we're feeling sad. Put some good music on and just move, right? Dance, shake it out. Literally get out in the garden, go for a run, go for a walk, get out in nature. It's the best thing you can do to shift that feeling, shift your energy, move your energy, right? And here's what I want you to say to yourself. When you feel triggered in that situation, I want you just to say, I know that I feel overwhelmed by this because it reminds me of when I was little and this happened, but I know that I am safe and I am ready to receive wealth. Okay? You are reassuring your mind and your nervous system that you are calm, that you are in control, and it's giving your brain some clarity because you're telling your brain, okay, I know I feel like this. I can feel this in my body. I can feel it in my stomach. I can really sink into where you can feel it. I can feel it in my stomach. I can feel that anxiety rising. I can feel the pain in my back. I'm going to sit with this feeling for a minute, but I know that it's okay because this feeling will pass and it's just a memory, an old memory of when I experienced this. Okay. And you're giving your brain that clarity going, it's okay, I'm in control. I know why I feel like this. It's because of this, but I'm choosing to move forward rather than spiraling and getting really upset and worked up and stressed and worried about where the next penny is going to come from. We need to be able to be in a place of calm because when we're calm, that's when solutions drop in. That's when inspiration drops in, right? That's when everything flows in, is when you are in a good feeling frequency, right? When you are stressed out and you're anxious and you're worried and you're worked up and you're angry and you're cross and you're frustrated, they're real low vibe energies, right? So you are just vibrating at a really low frequency and you'll just be attracting more of the same, right? So it's really important that we say that to ourselves to calm ourselves down, get ourselves back in the flow, okay? Now, the other thing with money is to start thinking about language. Now, this is something that can take a little bit of time. This is something that I really teach in my academy, is helping people reframe their mindset and reframe their thoughts and therefore their language, right? So the next time a negative thought pops up around money, what I want you to do, imagine the cartoons where there's a cloud bubble coming out of your head, right? That thought is in that bubble. And rather than you letting that thought come into you and then come into your body and sit with you for days on end, you are going to grab it and you're going to let it go. And you are going to say, that is not mine. That is not my thought. I choose to let go of it. Visually do that, right? Just imagine catching it and letting it go. It is not your thought, okay? Let that thought go. The other thing that you can do is choose to reframe it. So when that thought pops up, just say to yourself, okay, is that making me feel good, that thought? No, it's not. So, for example, if you're thinking, oh God, we're back in debt again. Why are we always in debt? It's so depressing and never seem to get out of it. Catch yourself. Is that making me feel good? No, it's not, right. How could you reframe it? You could say something like, I am focusing on wealth. I'm focusing on growing my income while releasing the debt from my life. It's a completely different energy, right? You will be able to feel that in your body if you start training your mind, if you start catching it before it settles in you, letting go of it and reframing it. Just sit with it for a minute, right? And just, you can't do this with every thought of the day, right? Because we have a lot. We have a whole lot, right? We have so many. You can't physically do this, but you can get really good and get really aware around catching those thoughts and just choosing to reframe them, right? It's a really, really powerful thing to do. And here's the thing, the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? Because it creates a habit. And you might find that quite often you'll say something and then out loud you'll go, oh no, I don't like that. I don't want to say that. I'm going to think of a different way to say that. And the more you can do that, the more you'll find it really easy to reframe your language. Because here's the thing, what we are saying is coming back to us, right? Now, the saying abracadabra means I create as I speak. I want you to remind yourself of that, abracadabra. The next time you're saying things, say it to yourself, abracadabra, right? Our language is so powerful. It is so powerful. And what we are putting out there is just being reflected back to us. If you imagine you've got a big, beautiful mirror in front of you, right? And everything you're reflecting is being reflecting back to you. You're reflecting negativity is coming straight back to you. You're gossiping is coming straight back to you. You're bitching about somebody, it's coming straight back to you. You're moaning about having no money, it's coming straight back to you. If you reflect different things, if you start to reflect generosity and gratitude and joy and happiness and being relaxed and laughing and happy and just moving through the day with so much more ease and catching those thoughts, everything that comes back to you will be so much easier than just keep on putting out all of this negative stuff that's just going to come back to you, right? So you've got to be super aware of your thoughts and you've got to be super aware of your language. And remember, this, right, is motivation enough, guys. Remember how we've been impacted by the language that our parents had. That was not their fault. I truly believe, particularly our generation, that, our grandparents, most of them were in the war. That was a real time of lack and scarcity. So there is no coincidence, right, that a lot of our parents are going to have been through that. And then that's channeled down to us. But remember the impact that has. So it is a real, I believe it's our responsibility to say enough is enough. And actually, I do need to be mindful of my language. This isn't about lying to your kids, right? I'm really mindful of this. I've got two teenage boys. I'm really honest. I have really good, honest conversations with them about money. And I'm honest, but I choose my language really carefully and never say to them, I can't afford that. Just start checking in with what you're saying. Start getting really creative about your language. If you've got younger kids and they're asking for something and you can't afford it, say to them, hey, listen, that's such a great idea, isn't it? I'd love that as well. How about we create a vision board together? How about we stick a piece of paper on the fridge and every time we want something, we can write it on there and then we can start ticking it off when we get it, right? All of these things, get creative. Start thinking about how you can use your language in a different way, right? Because it will empower your children, it will make them feel calmer, and it will make you feel calmer, okay? So make sure that you are being really mindful of your language, okay? And just feeling in receiving mode much more, feeling open and like open to possibility, right? We need to have fun with this. This doesn't all need to be doom and gloom and looking at all those old negative beliefs and crying and working through them all, right? Let's have some fun with this because fun is a beautiful frequency. And the more fun you can have with this, the better it will be and the more abundance will flow in, right? Okay, so see it like a nice, fun, relaxing, grounding thing to do to be working on this, okay? Right. The next part that I wanted to talk to you about was your nervous system. So our nervous system is like the control center of our body, right? And it's not just mindset alone, it is our nervous system as well. Now, I'm sure that all of you can think back to a time when maybe something happened about money, where you went into panic mode, and just think how you feel in your body when that happens, right? This is the really interesting thing because generally it isn't in the mind that it impacts, it's in your body. Your body can feel it, right? You know how we get butterflies when we're nervous? We get that churning feeling, don't we, when we're really worried about something? Migraines was always the key trigger for me. If I was nervous or anxious or stressed, I'd get boom, a migraine instantly. Blew my mind how quickly I'd be in pain. My back would go. It would literally go and I wouldn't be able to move because I'd be so anxious and worried about something. This is crazy, right, guys? You can feel it in your body. So it shows there's such a strong connection between your mind and your body. Now, with your nervous system, what we have to do is we have to get it to a point of safety, right? We have to get it to a point where it feels in rest mode, where it's relaxed and grounded. Because what happens is when your nervous system is dysregulated, it is all over the place, right? That is when you're getting the headaches, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're all over the place, right? And what's happening is it's using up your energy supply. So no wonder you're exhausted, no wonder you're feeling burnt out, right? So that is the goal. That is the ultimate goal, is to get your nervous system regulated so you feel calm and safe. Safe is my favorite word in all of this work. It really is just literally by putting your hand on your heart and saying, I feel safe. I am safe. We need to teach your mind and your body that you are safe. Because if you remember, if your subconscious mind is there trying to protect you all the time, keeping you on high alert, we just need to keep reminding it, it's okay. I love you. I appreciate you, but I am safe. It's the most beautiful 3 words you can say, I am safe. Keep reminding yourself. Just those 3 words alone will ground you, okay? Now, there's 4 parts to this, and if we look at this from a financial perspective, these are the elements in your nervous system, right? These are kind of like your dominant energy pattern. Now, most of us have a dominant pattern, but when I go through these, and this goes into much more detail in the workbook, so you can work through this, you may find that actually you're experiencing a couple of them. It might be all 4, right? But we generally have a more dominant energy pattern. So the first one is fight mode, right? So this is that real primal fighting off attackers. It's the hustler, right? It is so you feel so stressed about money that you are hustling, you're grinding, you're working really late, you're working long hours, you get burnout, like you're just exhausted. You're on that treadmill, you can't get off because you feel like you've just got to keep going and going and going and going, okay? And in the workbook, there are things that you can do that will really help with all of these 4. So make sure you have a look at that and work through it. The next one is flight, right? So that is being flighty, right? So it's really overthinking, it's procrastinating, it's feeling like you just want to run away, you want to escape from all of it. That financially could be having your bills and just not even daring to open them. It could be just never going on your banking app because you're just too scared. It could be never looking at your credit card debt because you just don't want to look at it, right? And this is normal. And what I hope you can take from this part of the webinar is that please don't have any judgment on yourself when you're doing this work. Have compassion for yourself, because this is a thing, right? This is a thing. This is a mode that you are in. You are not worthless. You are not useless because you procrastinate and because you are trying to avoid it. It's scary, right? But actually accepting this is the way you are at this moment, and this is why, and this is what you can do to regulate it. That's so empowering, right? Because I truly believe that growth is just about self-awareness. And when we have self-awareness, it is so powerful because it will help you move through life so much easier. Okay, so that is flight mode. So it's that real flighty, whoa, I need to get away from this, it's too scary. The next one is freeze. It's literally as it says, right? Freeze, shutdown mode, like panic. I don't know what to do. I'm too scared to do anything in case I make the wrong choice. Massive shame. Doom scrolling is another one of these. Ever sat there for hours on Facebook going, I just don't want to think. I'm just going to look through Facebook. Doesn't make you feel better, right, guys? Does it? But this is what we do because we go into that absolute freeze mode of like, I just don't know what to do. I'm panicking. Okay. And then fawn. So fawn is the people pleaser. So again, so many of us are people pleasers because it's what we knew growing up, right? Dependent on our household. I really personally struggled with being a massive people pleaser. I've turned my life around due to getting really good at boundaries, but people pleasing is a real thing, right? And it's exhausting, and it will affect your ability to earn, because if you're a people pleaser, you'll be too scared to charge for what you're worth, right? You'll be giving stuff away for free. And I know this because I did this for so many years. You'll be putting everybody else first. You'll be trying to help everybody out all the time and never, ever, ever actually putting yourself as a priority, right? And obviously that impacts your ability to earn. That impacts your wealth because you're putting everybody else before yourself. And you're basically telling yourself and you're telling the universe, I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this. They deserve it. I don't. I should just be doing this for free. So we need to be able to shift this, okay? So they're the 4 kind of dominant energy patterns. So have a think about it, go through the workbook, think about which one you are, and have a look at some of the little things you can do in there. I'm going to give you a generic idea in a minute about how you can really shift and regulate your nervous system as a whole. But there are more specific things in the workbook which will help you a little bit more kind of break down that. But I truly believe that the most important part of this is that self-awareness, because when you recognize it, you can go, Okay, that's why I feel like that. That's why I do that. That's why I'm always worried about charging for what I'm worth. Oh my gosh, that's why I'm always procrastinating, right? It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I'm useless. It isn't, right? You need to really start showing yourself some self-compassion. You need to start being much kinder to yourself, right? Especially when you're doing this work and especially when it's around a subject like money, right? Because there is so much shame we hold on as it's insane the level of judgment we have on ourselves. I felt it for so many years, thinking, why am I so useless? I'm in debt. I can't seem to get out of debt. And yet everybody else on Facebook is going on luxury holidays every half term. And it's exhausting, right? But just focus on your own journey because you have the power within you to be able to completely change your financial future. You really do. It all starts with your mind. So it starts shifting those thoughts, really getting clear about those negative beliefs. It's about really tapping into what's happening in that energy pattern of where you are feeling. So much of this is about feeling, right? It's tapping into how do I feel? Where am I feeling that in my body, right? It's really important. And when you recognize that, you can start to move through that. And what I want to help people do, what I'm doing in the academy is giving people an invisible rucksack, right? So imagine you've got this gorgeous invisible rucksack on your back. And what I'm doing is I'm helping you put all of these tools into it, right? So it's filling up with invisible tools so that when things happen in life, when you get sent a curveball, when somebody upsets you, when somebody says something behind your back, when you get a car bill, when you get made redundant, when you're not very well, when all of these things come along, you go, I am not going to lose it. I am safe. I'm in control. I am okay. This will pass. I know what to do. I know what to do to move through this feeling and to keep moving forward in faith. And that is my mission, right, guys, is to really help people feel like that because life is a much calmer, happier place when you have the tools to be able to help you along the way. Okay, so our goal is to regulate our nervous system so that it feels calm, so that we're in the flow, so that we feel good, so that we're showing up for ourselves, so we've got the energy to be able to be inspired, to launch new offers, to start the business, to go and look for a new job, right? We want to search out those feel-good feelings. That's what's really important, is to get in the flow. And don't worry if you don't know what that flow is yet. Don't worry if you don't know what business you want to start. Don't worry if you don't know what you want to do as a career yet. Like, I'm nearly 50, right? It's taken me all this time to find doing what I absolutely love. So it's never too late. Remind yourself of that. Just keep chasing those feel-good feelings. Remember what makes you feel good. Keep chasing those every day when you wake up. Think about what can I do today that makes me feel good. The more you can do that, the more you are getting into alignment. You'll be in the flow. Your nervous system will start to calm down. You'll start to feel safe. Okay. And a big part of this is slowing the hell down, right? If you feel like you're on that treadmill of life and you're going and you're going and you're going and someone's turned the speed up to 16 and you're exhausted and you feel like you're going to fall off, don't jump off, right? You just need some help turning it down, gradually turning the speed down, taking back some control of it, going at a slower pace, right, that you can handle. Because life is busy, right? We have kids, we have school, we have work, we have partners, we have families, we have elderly parents, we have loads of stuff going on that we're trying to juggle all the time. But guess what? When you've got a calm nervous system, when you've got a mindset that can handle things, that can reframe things, that knows what to do when there's challenges, all of those things are much easier. Everything is much easier. But it starts with working out what you're saying to yourself, what you're saying out loud, right? And slowing down and honoring yourself, because when you slow down, everything slows down, everything relaxes. You're saying to your body, I honor you, I respect you, I am calming my nervous system, I am safe, and everything will start to calm. And that's the state that we want to be in as often as possible. Okay. And even in your busy lives, this is possible, right? Because you can do a breathing technique when you're sat at your desk at work, right? And there's a breathing technique in the workbook. You could be out for a walk with the dog, doing a breathing technique. You could be out for a walk with the kids and you could be saying affirmations over in your mind, right? You could be in the car on the school run and you could be saying affirmations out loud. Say it out to the kids, right, in the morning. I always used to do that when mine were little at school. Be using all the time that you've got. Wake up in the morning, practice gratitude, do some deep breathing. When you go to bed at night, do some more deep breathing. Go to bed, imagining your best life and living in an abundant, luxurious life, right? Everything that you want. Take the time throughout your day to slow down and to let inspiration drop in, right? It is so important. If you continue to go on that treadmill at full speed, then something drops in, that's when we can't handle it, right? Because our bodies are all already at maximum capacity. Our mind is absolutely overloaded. We've got all those tabs open, especially as mums, right? All those tabs open. Our body is dysregulated. It's all over the place. We've got migraines, we've got headaches, we've got back pain, we've got everything going on. Our mind's all over the place. And then suddenly we get made redundant. Boom, you cannot handle it, right? Understandably so, right? But if everything is calm, if everything's slowed down, if you're feeling good, your shoulders are relaxed, you feel good, you're honoring yourself, you're making time for yourself every day in the small amounts of time you've got, then you get made redundant, right? Still not going to be great, right? And life does throw us some curveballs sometimes. But if you have faith in the universe, you will know that all of these things happen for a reason. They'll be guiding you on your path and it will make life much easier. You will start to see life through rose-tinted glasses, and it won't be by being naive. It will be because you've flipped your perspective on life, and that is what I'm really passionate about helping people do, is just seeing life from another perspective, right? Because it is the most beautiful world and we all have the ability to earn everything we want, to live the lives that we want, to fulfill our true potential, but it all starts with us. Okay. So the other thing to think about is, what is your relationship with receiving like? Okay, now start to think about simple things like, how am I at receiving? How am I when someone gives me a compliment? That's receiving, right? How am I when somebody offers me help? How am I when somebody tries to give me some support? How do I feel when somebody tries to offer me some money? If you're feeling a bit icky about any of those things and you're brushing it off, what are you saying? You're saying, I'm not worthy of that. That doesn't make me feel safe. I don't like that feeling. And that's what you're telling your subconscious mind. Therefore, you're going, I don't like it. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel normal. It feels unsafe. Your subconscious is going, that makes her feel unsafe. She doesn't like money. She doesn't like getting compliments. All of that makes her feel really unsafe. Okay. That sticks, right? The shit sticks. So we need to be really mindful of this. When somebody gives you a compliment, stop and go, that is so kind. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's made my day. Right? When somebody offers you a gift, say, that's so thoughtful. Appreciate it so much. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Rather than going, oh no, you can't give me that. No. Or somebody gives you a compliment and you say, oh, what, oh, this old dress, or this is so old, it's off vintage, £3. It looks awful on me. Like, they've given you that for a reason, right? A compliment is a gift. Money is a gift. A gift is a gift. Take it gracefully and say thank you, right? Because you are telling yourself you are worthy of these things, and you will start attracting more, and you will start telling your subconscious mind that you are in control and that you deserve all of these good things, and that money actually makes you feel good. Getting gifts makes you feel good. People telling you how beautiful you are makes you feel good. You're saying to the universe, I want more of this. I deserve more of this. And the universe will give you more, right? So it's really important to think about receiving. How are you receiving things? Okay, so journal around that. Now, one of the things that really blew my mind when I started to delve a little bit deeper about this work about money and becoming really stuck in that loop of debt and paying it off and debt and paying it off and debt and paying it off, like exhausting, right? Could never understand why. Because like I said at the start, I felt like I could create money really well. I'm really creative, and I feel like I've always been able to turn my hand to a business and set up a new business and start it and, and do really well with it. But I just felt like it kept flowing out again. Now, here's what I realized is that we all have a level, right? We have an energetic baseline that we feel safe with. Now, think about this. So we all have a financial baseline, right? If you think back to what you've earned over the last few years, has it grown immensely, or has it kind of plateaued around the same amount? Because I know personally for me, it really plateaued for years. because that's our normal, right? So that is our safety net. That is our comfort zone. Our familiar zone is that level where we're playing at. Now, that might be £1,000 a month. It might be £5,000 a month. It might be £10,000 a month. But whatever it is, right, that's your level. And if you've always been in debt, that is your comfort zone. Now, it doesn't mean that you want to be there, right? Because none of us want to be there. But that is where we feel normal because we're telling ourselves, well, I'm always in debt. I've always been in debt. I'm always going to be in debt. So your subconscious mind's going, well, yeah, you are. You are, because that's what you're telling yourself. That is our normal. This is where I feel safe. You're safe constantly being in your overdraft. That's the safety net. I know where you are. I don't like it when you stop paying that off. It feels a bit alien to me. It feels a bit scary for me. I'm going to keep you back here. Remember that. It's like, I'm going to keep you back here. I'm going to pull you back here, back into your overdraft. That's what you know. That's where you always are. That is where you are safe because that is what you know. That's your normal, right? This blew my mind. I was like, I don't want to be in that place, but I'm putting myself constantly back in that place. So if you imagine if we all have this energetic baseline, this wealth level, and then what's happening is when you get a windfall, so say, for example, you get gifted £5,000, that feeling immense, right? So exciting. And you go, everything's going to change. I'm going to change everything now because I've got this money. I can pay off some of my debt. And then your subconscious mind and your nervous system, which is feeling a bit strange about this, is feeling excited. You probably get that real excitement in your tummy, right? You feel really good when you look in your bank account, you see that money coming in, but there's a little part in the back of your mind that's going, but it's not going to last. You're going to let go of it again. You always let go of it. You're always in debt, you know. This is not normal for you. Enjoy that £5,000 because it's not going to last very long, love. And before you know it, it goes. You spend it on things, you book a holiday, or even if you just buy normal stuff, right? Suddenly you look in your bank account and go, where's it gone? Where has it gone? Life hasn't changed. I had £5,000 a week ago. What's going on, right? This is not your fault. This is because your mind is trying to keep you safe. So it's finding ways without you even knowing, right? So unconsciously, you're spending it. Unconsciously, you're buying stuff that you probably don't really need. Unconsciously, you're manifesting things like a car bill because it doesn't feel safe for you to keep this money, right? This blew my mind and it made absolute sense to me because I was like, that is me. When that money comes in, I feel really good and really excited and like that real adrenaline, but I let it go really quickly. It's almost like, you know, the saying, it's burning a hole in my pocket. I thought, that's how it feels, right? It feels like it's burning a hole in my pocket. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to get rid of it. And when I realized that, like, oh my God, boom, this is why it doesn't feel safe for my nervous system to hold it. It doesn't feel safe. It's above my normal. Then that then changed everything. It changed how I've started seeing things because now I see it like I just need to train my nervous system to feel really safe. I need to teach it that wealth is my new normal. We need to start seeing wealth as our new normal, not something that's big and scary and only meant for the few. It's not just meant for the other half, right? Why can't we be in the other half, right? Why can't we live a life of abundance? The people that are living it already, right? They are there as proof that you can do it too. Don't ever get jealous. See it like it's inspiring me that I can do it too, right? It's so important to adopt that mindset. So this blew my mind when I realized that. And I thought, okay, I get this now. So when I'm earning more, I feel really excited, but it goes because I don't feel safe. So what I then learned to do was to hold that in a safe space, to remind myself, I am safe. I am calm. I'm okay with this money. I will keep hold of this money, and not in a way where I'm strictly tightly keeping control of it, but where I'm being mindful with money. So I'm not just going out and spending it on something I probably don't need. You know, I'm not just going out and spending £8 on a sourdough loaf, as nice as they are. You know, I'm being more mindful with it because I'm seeing it as I'm safe. I don't need to get rid of this anymore. It's really, really powerful to recognize that. And I'd love to know if that resonates with you. But what happens is that it also goes the other way. So if you imagine again, you've got your energetic baseline, that might be £2,000 a month. When that dips, now this is more likely to happen if you're a business owner. Obviously, if you're employed, then normally your salary is going to stay pretty much the same every month. But it might be commission, you get less commission or something. So you dip under that. So it might be you only get £1,000 that month. Suddenly you go into fight mode. Oh my God, this is not normal to me. I don't like this. This feels really unsafe. So up here feels unsafe. The earning more money feels safe. And then suddenly earning less money feels really unsafe too. So then what happens is we go into that hyper, oh my God, I've got to hustle, right? Oh my God, what can I sell? What can I do now? What am I going to do? I need to create a new offer. Oh my God, I need to start this. What can I do? What can I do? I need to be finding some more money. You go into absolute panic mode because it doesn't feel safe either, right? And then you get yourself back up and you're like, oh, made it. I'm back at my baseline, right? How exhausting is this? I'm exhausted explaining it, right? Because it is exhausting. What an exhausting concept, right? But isn't it beautiful and simple that actually we just need to train our minds, we need to make our nervous system feel safe so that we can gradually just shift, right? We can start gradually shifting it. We can go, I feel safer with an extra £100 a month. I feel safe with 200 extra pound a month. I feel safe with £500 extra a month. I feel safe with 10 grand a month. If I feel really safe with that. Just keep telling yourself that all the time, right? Because we want to make wealth our new normal. And what I would say around that is we need to feel abundant, right? Now, the law of attraction manifestation is all about embodiment. And if you want the money, if you want the wealth, if you want the beautiful house, you have to step into the energy of the person who already has it. So if you're constantly in that worrying mode, if you're constantly dysregulated, if you're constantly feeling anxious and headachy and stressed about money, you're not going to attract more money. It's not going to flow in because the universe is going to go, but look how you are. You're not calm. You're not relaxed. How are you going to handle this? I don't actually feel like you can handle it. I'm keeping you safe, right, love? Because I don't think you can handle 10 grand a month. Because actually, if you don't change your money mindset, if you don't learn how your nervous system works, I could give you 10 grand a month. You're going to be in debt again by month 3, right? We need to reassure our minds, we need to reassure ourselves, we need to reassure the universe, right, that we have got this, that we are confident, that we are strong, that we are grounded, that we know what we're doing, we are safe with abundance, and we are open to receiving it. Okay. So I want your daily mantra to be, I am safe and I am ready to receive wealth. That needs to be your daily mantra. Look yourself in the eye in your bathroom mirror every single morning and say to yourself, I am safe. I am ready to receive wealth. Start looking yourself in the eye. Start telling yourself that, right? Start showing up every day as the badass that you are, right? It doesn't matter what car you drive. You could be driving a battered Ford Fiesta. You get in that car and you imagine when you're holding that steering wheel that you were driving the car of your dreams, right? You wake up in the morning in your home. It doesn't matter where you live. You close your eyes and when you wake up, you imagine you are stepping out onto a beautiful carpet. You are awake in the beautiful home of your dreams, right? Whatever you want in your life, start stepping into the energy of already having it and already being the person that has all of those things and that has that life, that has that freedom, that has that amazing body, that has that real clarity, that has that energy, that beautiful, soulful energy, that has that pure connection with themselves. Because you can all do this, but we need to start smally, that's not even a word, is it? We need to start small, we need to start slowly, we just need to start doing all of these shifts, right? Which will really help us step into that person, because you are absolutely worthy of wealth. And I tell you, one of the ways to feel really abundant is go out for a walk and look at the trees. Do you ever worry in winter that those leaves aren't going to grow back again? Of course you don't. So we need to start feeling like that about money, right? I want you to start seeing your bank account like the sea. So you imagine it goes out and it flows back in again, and it goes out and it flows back in again, and it goes out and it flows back in again. You aren't wondering, going, is the tide going to come back in? Is the sea going to come back in? Have you ever worried about that? Have you ever worried about the moon coming out? Have you ever worried about sunrise? Have you ever worried about there not being any birds? No, no, right? So why are we so worried about that money not coming back in? money is energy, and it is beautiful and it's powerful and it's abundant, and we need to start seeing like that, right? We need to start having fun with this. We need to tap into that beautiful energy of abundance. We are abundance, right? And we need to be able to hold that wealth, to hold that abundance, and to know that it is not going to run out. Is money ever going to stop being printed? No, right? There's never going to be a lack of money in the world. We just have it in our minds that there's a lack in our life. But we need to start shifting that. So, what I would say is a really good thing that you can do to start activating that wealth feeling, right, is put yourself in situations where it makes you feel really good. Now, that might be something as simple as putting on a really beautiful bright red lipstick if you're a girl. Obviously, if you're a guy, please feel free to, right? It might be painting your nails, right? It might be wearing that top that you absolutely love, but you save it for special occasions. It might be putting on your best pair of earrings. I wear my beautiful vintage earrings nearly every day because I just feel like I don't need an occasion, right? You could drink out of your favorite crockery. You could use your best cutlery. You could go to all the beautiful shops that you always are too scared to go in because you feel like you don't deserve to be there. And you walk around like you're Julia Roberts, right? It doesn't matter if you can't afford anything in that shop yet. You go there and you tap into the energy of, I am just as worthy as any other person in this shop. And I could buy anything in here if I so wish. I'm just choosing not to right now. That is a badass frequency, right? When you go to a beautiful, expensive place and you're walking around with the energy of, I'm just choosing not to buy that right now, but I could if I wanted to, rather than walking around going, oh God, everything's so expensive. Oh, how the other half live. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could afford that? Oh my God, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to spend 3 grand on a footstool? Look at that. Have you seen the price of that? Look how expensive that is. What a different energy that is, right? To you going around and going, yeah, I could choose. I could have 2 of those footstools if I wanted, but actually, I'm choosing not to right now. Like, have some fun with this, guys. It's really good fun. It's good energy. Put yourself in those situations, right? Go and sit in your favorite hotel and just order a coffee, right? Just put yourself in situations where you feel good. Get a sample of your favorite perfume. Just do the little things, go on Vinted, get a beautiful purse for like, really cheaply, but something that will make you feel good. It's really important to do all of these little wealth activations all the time so that you are stepping into that energy. You're telling yourself, telling your subconscious mind, you're telling the universe, you're telling your nervous system, you're calm, you're able to handle wealth. Wealth is normal to you. You are fine with wealth. You love wealth. Wealth loves you. This is your new normal, please. Please can I have some more. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Right. This is the new vibe that I want you all to adopt. Okay. It's really important. Now, before I finish, there's just a few things that we can do to help with this, with your nervous system. So we need to start regulating it in different ways. And one of the ways that you can do that is by humming, right? Humming will regulate your nervous system. As we're gargling, right? You can use cold water. So I'm a big fan of cold water swimming, and I love an ice bath. I mean, I've only done one, but bloody loved it. Amazing, right? If you haven't tried it, try it. It's gorgeous. But what I would say is, even if you don't want to do any of those things, or you can't do any of those things, and obviously you can't do it every day, but you could have a cold shower. Literally, at the end of your shower, just turn it on to cold for a few seconds, right? It makes you feel so energized. It makes you feel incredible. It will wake you up for the day. You have this real kind of buzzy energy all day. I absolutely love it. If you can't do that, then you could still splash your face with cold water, or splash the back of your neck with cold water. Again, these are good things maybe if you're at work. If you're feeling a bit anxious at work, just go to the bathroom, just splash a bit of cold water on the back of your neck. Take a few minutes to breathe, right? Breathing is so important. If you actually check in with breathing, so often you'll think, I'm really not breathing properly. I'm breathing so shallow. I'm like holding on to my breath, especially when you feel anxious and stressed around money, right? Check in with how you're breathing, because I bet you're not breathing properly. I've put a breathing exercise within the workbook. It's 4-7-8. It's really simple to do. I do it every day, and it will really start making a difference to how you feel. Okay. And remember this is the last thing that I want to say to you guys, right? Is those uncomfortable feelings that we get, right? They're just unfamiliar. That's all it is, right? It's just unfamiliar. And as I've said all along, our mind, our nervous system's trying to keep us safe. They're trying to keep us familiar. So when we experience these other feelings for us, when we're growing, when we're stretching, when we're evolving, it feels a bit scary, right? New level, new devil. It feels a bit scary, but it's just unfamiliar. But the more we can push through it, the more we can stretch it gradually, the more abundance will come in and the more we will be able to hold it. And that is my goal for you guys, is that you feel really calm in your mind. You feel really able to handle any financial challenge that comes your way. You know in your absolute every cell in your body that you are worthy of abundance, and you have absolute faith in the universe, that the universe will always provide you with solutions. If you ever feel really stuck, reach out or sit at your kitchen table and say, universe, please help me right now. Please show me a solution to this. I guarantee something will come in. An inspiration, a download, an idea, somebody that meets you that helps you create something, some money will come in from somewhere. Get really open to the possibility of how this is going to come in, right? If you want to be debt free, if you want a beautiful house, if you want a new car, if you want all these gorgeous things, right? Start being really open to how they're going to come in, because you just don't know. I always say to everyone in my academy, your whole life can change in a minute, right? Everything could change today for you. You could meet the most incredible person that helps you set up a new business. You could get an immense windfall from somewhere that you're just not expecting. You could find some money, right? Somebody could gift you something incredible. You could send an email and it could spark off a whole new opportunity for you. These little things that happen in life sometimes end up being the biggest, most beautiful thing. So just keep the faith, okay? I am here to help and support you all. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this today. And I hope you love the workbook as well. You know where I am. If you would like to join the Academy, if you're not already a member, you can head to my website, www.annamay.co.uk, or connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram is Anna E. May and Facebook is Anna May. I'd absolutely love to know how you're getting on. So if you've watched this webinar, just let me know, drop me a message. I'd love to hear how it's helped. And please, please, please tell your friends, tell your family about this. I want to get this out to as many people as possible, because this is what I've been searching for so long. I would have paid an awful lot of money for somebody to help me understand why I was stuck in this loop. So I just am really passionate now about sharing it with as many people as possible. So thank you, as always, my beautiful souls. Wishing you all the abundance in the world that you deserve. Love you lots.